All right, today we're diving into something truly wild. We're going to start with some simple tricks you can use right now to upgrade your own mind, and we're going to end up on the absolute cutting edge of science, where we're connecting our brains directly to computers. So yeah, let's get started by hacking the most complex machine in the known universe, our own brain.
So, first things first, can you really hack your brain? I know it sounds like something straight out of a movie, but the answer is a huge, resounding yes. The science behind it is called neuroplasticity, and it's basically the key to understanding how we learn, how we adapt, and how we get better at, well, anything.
And the best part is, you don't need some futuristic lab or weird gadget to get started. In fact, we actually went and asked some top neuroscientists for the brain hacks they use in their own daily lives. And guess what? The best ones don't require any special equipment at all.
And you know what's wild? It turns out that just doing something physically is a huge memory booster. One scientist told us she takes notes by hand. She said, even though I never read the notes again, the act of putting it into my motor system helped me to remember. The exact same idea applies to learning a new language or picking up an instrument. These activities literally force your brain to build brand new connections, making it stronger and more resilient.
And hey, it's not all about mental gymnastics, right? Your physical health is your brain health. It turns out just walking for a half hour 3 times a week can actually increase the size of your hippocampus. That's a part of your brain that's absolutely crucial for memory. And let's not forget the basics. Put the phone away at night to avoid that blue light, and please get enough sleep. That's not downtime for your brain. That's when it's working overtime, organizing, and storing everything you learned that day.
Okay, so all these little hacks are great, but how do they actually work? Well, they all tap into this one amazing fundamental truth about our brains. They aren't just clever tricks. They're ways you can actively take part in the constant renovation project that's happening inside your own head.
And here's the big idea, the thing that changes everything. Your brain isn't some fixed, static thing. It is constantly, dynamically rewiring itself every single second of your life. It's all based on what you do, what you experience, even what you think. This incredible ability to change and adapt, that's the magic of neuroplasticity. And this idea, well, it has literally changed the world. Think about it. Our brain's ridiculously complex network of 86 billion neurons became the direct inspiration for the artificial neural networks that power pretty much all modern AI. We basically reverse engineered our own brains to build intelligent machines.
But okay, that's us learning from the brain. What happens when we flip the script? What happens when technology starts talking directly back to our biology? This is where we take a giant leap from simple life hacks into a full-blown technological revolution.
So the big picture term for all of this is neurotechnology. To put it simply, these are just tools that build a bridge between our nervous system and some kind of external device. They can listen in on what our nerves are doing, or they can even send signals back to change that activity.
And a slice of that neurotech pie that gets a ton of buzz is the brain-computer interface, or BCI for short. This is exactly what it sounds like, a direct communication line between the brain's electrical signals and an outside device, which allows our thoughts to be translated into commands.
So how in the world does that work? Well, a BCI system is basically a bridge from your mind to a machine. You have sensors that pick up the brain's natural electrical chatter, then a processor decodes those signals into a command, like move your arm. And finally, a controller tells an external device, like a robotic arm, what to do. It's a direct link from pure thought to physical action.
Now, this technology is moving at an absolutely incredible speed. But as you can imagine, with this kind of power comes a whole tangled web of possibilities and problems. We are right on the edge of creating what you could only call modern miracles, but we're also stepping into a moral maze with some very, very serious questions.
And believe me, this isn't some far-off future. This is happening right now. Just follow the money. Investment in neurotechnology has completely exploded, hitting over 30 billion euros. That's a 21-fold increase since just 2012. The growth here is just exponential.
But here is the absolutely crazy part. Despite all these billions being poured in, a recent survey found that nearly 65% of people had never even heard of brain-computer interfaces. So you have this huge gap between how fast the tech is moving and how much we as a society actually know about it. So why does this gap matter so much? Why should you care? Because this isn't just a future concept. Neurotechnology is already changing lives in the most profound ways, doing things that, honestly, feel like modern miracles.
I mean, just listen to some of these breakthroughs. In Spain alone, over 19,500 people can hear because of cochlear implants. Scientists are using neurotech to help people with spinal cord injuries walk again. And get this, in one trial, a person with paralysis was able to communicate just by thinking at a speed of 62 words per minute. That's almost as fast as I'm talking right now.
So this is the classic double-edged sword, right? On one hand, the promise is just staggering. Curing diseases like Parkinson's, restoring movement, maybe even ending depression. But the flip side, the peril, is just as huge. We have to think about the risk of someone neurohacking your brain data, or the possibility of creating false memories, or even accidentally changing who someone is at their core.
And it's not just about what happens to one person. We have to think about society as a whole. As one study pointed out, there's a huge fear about this technology exacerbating social inequalities. I mean, what kind of world do we create when some people can afford a cognitive upgrade and others can't? That's a question we really need to face.
Which brings us to the big finale, our neurofuture. At this point, this technology is no longer a question of if it's going to happen. It's happening. The only questions left are when and how. We are actively designing the tools that will shape the brains of tomorrow, which means we have to think really carefully about the kind of world we want to build.
And look, this whole revolution isn't just a topic for late-night debates. It's creating a whole new industry. As neurotech grows, so does the need for people who can build it, manage it, and ethically guide it. Everything from data scientists to researchers and ethicists. This isn't theoretical. This is happening now.
So, to deal with all these huge risks we've been talking about, a really powerful new idea is starting to take shape: neurorights. The basic concept is that our existing human rights might not be enough to protect the final frontier of our privacy, our own minds. So, what are we talking about here? What would these neurorights actually protect? Well, the proposals cover things like the right to mental privacy, keeping your thoughts truly your own, all the way to the right to personal identity and free will. And maybe most importantly, they're talking about the right to equal access, to try and make sure this tech doesn't just divide us even more. This is the rulebook for our neurofuture, and it's being written as we speak.
And that really leaves us with the one massive question we all have to face. We know this technology is changing what it even means to be human. So the real question for all of us is, who gets to write the rules for this new reality?